Hellraiser, welcome back to part 2 of my own personal PG-13 horror movie. If you haven't seen my first video, you should probably go watch that video and then come back and watch this one, which is the continuation of the first video. I'll link it in the description down below or pop a little ad up above here. So, just like the first list, I took a bunch of PG-13 movies, put them all on one list, tell you what they's about, tell you why they's effective, and give you the Rotten Tomatoes score. So, starting right out the gate with number 5, we have a movie called Underwater 2020. This movie tells a story about a group of scientists, I believe you can call them scientists, or just a group of people who are set on this mission under the sea, under the ocean, or something like that. And all of a sudden, water starts caving inside the little submarine or like the ship thing that they is on, and all hell breaks loose. They have to literally survive 6 miles under the ocean, trying to find a way to survive so that they can get rescued. Along the way, there are like some kind of fish-like alien creatures swimming around in the water, picking their asses off one by one. You got Kristen Stewart in this movie, and honestly, I love Kristen Stewart, and I love her in this movie. She is really the best part of this entire movie. However, Disney bought 21st Century Fox, and all of a sudden, they decided to cancel a lot of fucking movies, and then they ended up dropping this movie in January, and it pissed me the fuck off because in January, that's where they usually drop some shit bomb movies. Not all the movies they drop in January are bad, sometimes February, but they dropped this movie in January, and this movie turned out to be a massive hit. It's not that big of a hit as they expected because they dropped it in January. But like I said, what makes this movie effective for me is the stuff that they choose to show you. At times, you probably won't be able to see anything because they underwater, and the director will probably having a hard time trying to keep up with the stuff that he wanted you to see. Everything almost look like dingy looking and stuff, but it's still a good movie. You can still enjoy it. Some of the stuff that you do see is what makes this movie effective. This movie is rated a 47% on Rotten Tomatoes. The fact that this movie is rated that low, it proves why they dropped it in January, I guess. Number 4, we have a movie called Split 2016 with James Markovit or something like that. This movie tells a story about the guy who has multiple different split personalities, and each of them does different things. No matter what these personalities are, they have their own identity. He can literally swap between the two. And M. Night does such a fantastic job, especially my boy James Markovit or whatever his name is. He does such a fantastic job at portraying these characters and kind of like splitting the 3 different personalities even more. And what this movie chooses to show you on screen is probably some of the best acting I've ever seen this guy do. And I feel like he should have won the Oscar for how fantastic he was in this movie. This movie could have easily fell apart if he did not accept this role. Because honestly, this probably would have been everybody's worst PG-13 horror movie ever made. This movie is rated a 77% on Rotten Tomatoes. I really do appreciate that percentage. However, I feel like James should have won an Oscar for his performance for this movie. 3, we have a movie called 1408. This is a Stephen King adaptation. This movie tells a story about this writer who's looking to write his new novel. He has no idea what to write about. He goes to hotels to try to find a haunted hotel. He spends the entire night in there trying to see what's wrong with the hotel. Is it haunted? And he write a book about it. He ended up going to the Dolphin Hotel, and he requested a room 1408. He found out that 1408 has a dark history behind it, and he is literally told not to request or go in that room. He ended up requesting that room, and he ended up getting trapped in that bad boy for 72 hours. Well, I guess you say a whole damn day. no matter what he does, he can't get out of that room. He can't open the door to leave because the entire room is like literally like just abandon everything outside the room. He can't jump out the window because if he jump out the window, it's gonna teleport him back into the room. Honestly, this is one of those Stephen King adaptations that I enjoy watching. Not as much as Misery, but this is a good ass movie. Right from the get go, you're trying to be skeptical with this guy, and I do like how John, whatever his name is, I do like how he is skeptical about it because he does not believe in ghosts. And so he has to be the person to go to these places and be like, oh, that like ghosts don't fucking exist and all that and whatnot. And I do like how he is so skeptical about it. What made this movie effective though is that the stuff that they choose to show you and how traumatizing this guy is. You can literally see him in this room being tortured and suffering for his own life. He tries his hardest to get out and nothing works. This movie is rated a 79% on Rotten Tomatoes. I feel like that's a little bit too high. Maybe like a 62, maybe a 50. That's just my own opinion. Number 2, we have a movie called The Visit, also directed by M. Night. This movie tells a story about these 2 young kids that is sent on a vacation to go visit their grandparents. And while they're there, their grandparents is strange and so creepy and eerie. And they're doing weird things. They're saying weird things. These kids have to film, which is a found footage type movie. They are filming their grandparents doing some of the weirdest, outrageous shit you will ever see in a PG13 movie. Throughout the entire runtime of the movie, while they are there, despite the fact that how weird their grandparents is, they have to unfold mystery that is surrounding their grandparents. They're trying to find some information on what's wrong with them. No matter what they do, they can't find out what's wrong. Well, the plot twist of the movie goes is that when they were sent there, they quickly found out that their grandparents is not really their grandparents. Those are just 2 random strangers that is having these kids in their house while they doing this creepy ass shit. This movie can be predictable. People can literally predict exactly what's gonna happen before it even happens. You can probably see it coming before the ending gets there, but it's still a good movie. It's rated a 68% on Rotten Tomatoes. I guess that's fair, I guess. Number 1 is a movie called Others, starring Nicole Kidman, one of my favorite movies by Nicole Kidman. This movie tells a story about a single mother who is looking to protect her kids from what she thinks is a ghost or some kind of entity inside the house. Little by she knows, no matter what she does, she can't stop it. She starts to think that her kids is doing some weird things around the house, or maybe her caretaker or her maid are doing weird things around the house. Every time she closes blinds and close and lock doors, they seem to reopen and the blinds seem to open back up. The plot twist of the movie go is that she quickly found out that the entire family is dead, herself and her kids included, along with the caretaker and her maid. This is one of my favorite movies with Nicole Kidman. Honestly, I've seen her in far better movies, but this movie right here is exactly what a horror movie is. It has all the elements, it has all the tools. It doesn't have no over-the-top jump scares or anything like that. There's nothing going too crazy with this movie. What this movie shows you is exactly what a jump scare should be. And honestly, this movie was made in 2001 and it is literally ahead of its time. This movie is rated, at the time of recording this video, this movie is rated a 77% on Rotten Tomatoes. I feel like that's fair, despite the fact that I feel like this movie is also underrated and not too many people seen these movies. But I'm just going to leave it at that because I do appreciate that percentage. So we have reached the end of today's list. If you want to see another list like this, make sure you just drop likes on this video. And if you want to get in touch with me, all my social media links will be in the description down below. Also, if you're new around here, my name is Tevin Johnson and I love horror movies. Be part of my HELLRAISERS, join my channel. All you have to do is drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel and turn on that bell notification. And as I say in all my other videos, make sure you keep a beautiful smile on your face. Stay positive, and I'll catch you here with you in the next video.